United States, we're reminded that we must never forget to say thank you to our dear brother, Dr. King. His life, his legacy is the cornerstone of the way of life that we live today here in the United States. He pierced the conscience of the nation that was riddled with injustice. He led the civil rights movement that helped shape today's society as we know it. He left a legacy for us all, reminding us that in the end, we will not remember the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. So this occasion is not only to remind us we must never forget the battles that have been fought and won, but this occasion is really meant to prick our complacent consciousness. We live in wonderful homes, enjoy our neighborhoods, drive in nice cars, dress in nice clothing without the threat of being mobbed right here in this church. So what are we doing today to honor that legacy? What are we doing today to address today's injustices, today's barriers that stop little boys and girls from achieving the education they should have? A justice system that has almost half of Floridians who are African American that are incarcerated behind the prisons in our state. So what will be our legacy to carry on the legacy of our dear brother, Dr. King? So it brings me great joy to introduce our leader of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, our general president, who has remarkable credentials. We look forward to his message to also further the cause of us today and how we must honor the legacy of Dr. King, the things that we must be doing to ensure that our neighborhoods and our communities can continue to achieve the dream that Dr. King fought for. You can join me by looking in your program and reading bio about Dr. Everett D. Ward. He's the 35th General President of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, of which he is also a life member. Having distinguished himself as a leader at all levels of the fraternity, Dr. Ward has served previously as local chapter president, regional vice president. Years prior to his election as general president, he was appointed chairman of the Alpha Phi Alpha Building Foundation Incorporated, and also to lead the committee responsible for developing the fraternity's strategic vision into the next century. In every role, Dr. Ward has been instrumental and committed to moving the fraternity forward. During his administration, he has led Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated to actively advocate on behalf of causes affecting the African American community, specifically those of color. Dr. Ward recently retired after serving as the 11th president of St. Augustine's University. He was the third St. Augustine's University alumnus to serve as its president in its 151-year history. During his tenure, Dr. Ward accepted the challenge and successfully led the university through the accreditation process, which removed the university's probationary status. Dr. Ward's administration navigated a strategic plan that resulted in record fundraising, advanced alumni and external community relations, enhanced Episcopal church relations, and increased interdisciplinary academic programs. As president, Ward championed academic excellence and encouraged innovation, scholarship, and teaching. In addition, Dr. Ward served as a director of historically Black colleges and universities, minority institutions, and higher education program for the North Carolina Department of Transportation. In this role, Dr. King worked with university presidents, faculty, and staff in the areas of transportation, curriculum, and research development and student career development. He also served on the Federal Highway Administration work group. As a dedicated, conservative leader in the community, Dr. Ward served on several national, regional, statewide boards on advanced opportunities for citizens throughout the nation. He is a former member of the Democratic National Committee, where he served as vice chairman of the DNC Black Caucus. In 1989, Dr. Ward made history by becoming the first African American, to serve as Executive Director of the North Carolina Democratic Party. Dr. Ward currently serves as a ruling elder at 8th Street Presbyterian Church, USA. He holds membership in another great organization, Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity, the Boule, 100 Black Men Incorporated, St. Augustine's University Association, and a Alumni Association, which he's a life member, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University Alumni Association. In addition, Dr. Ward is a former member of the Board of Directors of the UNCF and the CIA. In recognition of his long-standing commitment to public service, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper presented Dr. Ward with the Order of the Longleaf Pine. The Order of the Longleaf Pine is the highest award presented to a citizen in all of the state of North Carolina. By Dr. Ward earned his Bachelor's of Arts degree from St. Augustine's College. He also earned a Master of Arts degree from North Carolina State University and his PhD from the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. As a result of his academic achievements, Dr. Ward was a North Carolina A&T Wardman Scholar and a member of the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi and the Golden Key International Honor Society. Now, some may wonder why it took the time to do every syllable in the Bible. You know, as a community, we must recognize the achievement of our brothers and sisters. Of course, I'm biased because he's my Alpha Phi and our general president. But we must give honor where honor is due. And we must honor those who not only have themselves achieved much in their lives, but have served and given so much to our community. And with that, it is my pleasure to bring forward to you today our very dear own General President, Everett Ward.
Good morning. Good morning. It is indeed an honor to be with you this morning, and I cannot tell you how elated I am to be with you this morning. To Reverend Roberta Bobby Knowles, our distinguished clergy, give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause. To be with her is indeed an honor, and I must take a moment to share with you how important she is. As many of you know, St. Augustine's University and Voorhees College in Denmark, South Carolina, St. Augustine's in Raleigh, North Carolina, are the only two Episcopal affiliated HBCUs in the country. And it has been under the leadership of Reverend Knowles and other members of the Union of Black Episcopalians who have fought for the survival of St. Augustine's and Voorhees College. Give her another round of applause. I am also especially pleased to be here as also the guest of the Links Incorporated, founded in 1946 as a national organization dedicated to the social, political, financial challenges impacting African Americans and the cultural enrichment of our community. And of course, the Greater Miami chapter of the Links Incorporated is led by President Dotson. I want to thank you, the wife of my good friend and fraternity brother ×2. It is an honor to be with you and the fellow members of the Links Incorporated. Thank you for the work that you do. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not recognize my beloved brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, founded in 1906 at Cornell University. And so I'm honored to be here with the president and the members of Beta Lambda chapter here that was founded in 1937 here in Miami. Give our Alpha brother a round of applause. All of us are here because we stand on the shoulders of so many elders and others who have paved the way. And I want to just take a moment to recognize some of those distinguished men of Alpha that I have had the great fortune to have their tutelage and their guidance as we have moved forward. I know if he's not here, I'm looking for him, Brother Dotson Sr. Has he arrived? Brother Dotson, please stand. And as I call the names, these are the elders of Alpha. Brother Sam Gay and Brother Joe Gay, are you in the audience? Please stand. I want you to stand and be recognized. Brother Hartley, would you stand and be recognized? I know you were with us earlier. Give him a round of applause. And of course, we are so honored to have a brother who has led, as all of you know, through God's faith and through his ministry, Brother Major. Would you stand and be recognized? I was sharing with our brothers yesterday that you cannot text fraternity. You cannot send an Instagram about our people. And so it is important for us, those of us who are living, to celebrate the sons and daughters who have paved the way for us to be where we are in 2020. So for those brothers, thank you for your service, your dedication, and to all of our elders who have paved the way, who walked the streets, who endured the water hoses, who endured segregation, so that we could now enjoy the freedoms of democracy in America. Give yourselves another round of applause. I was so elated when I learned of your theme, MLK Today, Mission 2020. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Today, Mission 2020. The word mission is a noun with a definition that's described as an important assignment that is carried out for political, religious, or commercial purposes, typically involving some travel. The mission statement of the Church of the Incarnation was especially rewarding when I read that. And if you don't mind, I want to just share that with you. The mission for this great church reads as follows. The Church of the Incarnation is a community of believers whose mission is to restore all people to unite with God and each other in Christ, and seeks through the ministry of its membership to carry out this mission as it prays and worships, proclaims the gospel, and listen to this, and promotes justice, peace, and love. We are here in a church that has as its defined mission to promote justice, peace, and love. Dr. King, and I know it's printed in your program, Dr. King in his sermon that subsequently became a book, he gave it August the 16th, 1967, when he was delivering the sermon to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And it's entitled, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? So here we are, 53 years later, after that sermon was given. I want us to just hear some of the missions that he gave to us in this sermon, and I encourage you to read it in its entirety, but I want to highlight just a few for us this morning. One of the first things he says, we must massively assert our dignity and worth. We must no longer be ashamed of being black. Now this is what he said 53 years ago. I say to you that on this Sunday morning, January the 19th, 2020, we must never be ashamed to be black. Somebody might remember that I won't slip too far, Reverend, but there was in the day somebody by the name of James Brown. And he said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Well, I think he got that from Dr. King. We must assert dignity and worth. And then this is another statement that he made. As long as the mind is enslaved, the body can never be free. As long as the mind is enslaved, the body can never be free. Psychological freedom, a firm sense of self-esteem, is the most powerful weapon against the long night of physical slavery. I was sitting there and looking at these beautiful young people. You all take a moment and just look at them. And I was sitting there thinking about their mind and how they cannot be handicapped mentally with anything that would enslave them, that would make them think that they are less than the great children that God has made. We must love our children and we must give them the equipment and the weapons to understand that they are a child of God and there are no limitations on what they can become. Give these young people a round of applause. And another message from his sermon that I want us to think about today is he stated, another basic challenge is to discover how to organize our strength in terms of the economy and political power. Political power and the economy. Money and the vote, to paraphrase. We have got to organize. So I have a clear message that I want to leave with you for 2020. Number one, we must organize and intensify our collective engagement in the electoral process at the local, state, and federal level. We were just introduced by the Mayor Messam, who was a candidate for President of the United States of America. Give him a round of applause. Someone may say he didn't win, but I will say every day of the week, what God has for you is for you. And we are better off because he ran for President of the United States and he is now the mayor. Give him another round of applause. Voting must be our number one priority this year. Voting must be our number one priority this year. There are political scientists and political thought leaders who are already counting on us not voting. And they sit in their quiet places and they say, oh, the black vote will not come out. This morning on C-SPAN, there was a commentator who was saying, oh, well, the black vote may or may not come out. Well, how many of you went to see Harriet Tubman movie this year? To go see Harriet? All right, raise your hands. How many went to see it? What I love about Harriet Tubman, and I think we need to adopt the Harriet Tubman methodology now. We don't tell folk what we gonna do. Just do what we are going to do. We've got to have an underground railroad that goes to the polls and votes, and when the results are known, all they can say is free at last, free at last. Thank God, honey, we're free at last. How many of you are going to go with me to the polls? That's what we've got to return and understand that between now and November the 3rd, there's nothing more important than voting. But then there's one other thing that we must do. We must, the links, the deltas, the AKAs, the zetas, Sigma, Gamma, Rho, the alphas, the masons, the shriners, the kappas, the sigmas, the whosoever will, let them come. We've got to make sure that we are counted in the 2020 census, because the undercount of our people will result in federal resources not coming to our communities. We've got to understand to take that Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad and make sure that everybody is counted that look like us, so that we can get those federal resources in our local community. How many of you are going to make sure you're counted? We're going to be counted. Number 2, our mission must be that we are determined to fight against the psychological imprisonment and the miseducation of our children. I'm going to repeat that. Yes. The psychological imprisonment and the miseducation of our children. We've got to end the day, and we've got to return to the place where our culture defines who we are, and not people outside of our culture defining who we are. There was a time, and we must return to it in 2020, that our young people understood the importance of church, education, family. It's not how much hair you have hanging down your back, and how many nails you put on your finger, and how many pair of pants you wear down. We've got to go back to the day where dignity is defined by the intellect that you have in your mind. How many of us remember that we would celebrate young people when they made A honor roll? When we would stand in front of the church and people would give us a round of applause because we made a good grade, or we were inducted into the honor society, or that church member that would slip you a $5 bill because they heard that you did good in school. We've got to go back to those days and stop trying to emulate other people that would have our children caught up on Gucci and this way and that way and up and there. We've got to go back to the day that we give our children a book and tell them to put down that laptop and read a book and understand your history. And we cannot blame anybody but us. There was a time that we would come to the dining room table and there was conversation at the table. Grandfather would lead one part of the conversation, grandmother the other, mother and father, sister and brother, and we would talk. Now you go to the table and everybody's got their telephone and they're texting each other. They're texting people in the other part of the house when they do. We got to say, put that phone down and listen to the wisdom of granddaddy and grandmama and Aunt Sue and Uncle Joe. That's the black community. That is what has defined us as a people and as a church. And so I say to you that Dr. King is telling us to release the psychological imprisonment of our children. When I was on the campus of St. Augustine, I was one of those presidents that was in the Benjamin Elijah Mays type of president, the Dr. James Alexander Boyer type of president. I knew students by their name. I knew where they came from, what city. And so when I would see beautiful black women, university women, walking the campus, and I'd see them wearing a t-shirt that had Marilyn Monroe on the t-shirt, I stopped them there. I said, do you know who Marilyn Monroe was and what she represented? No, Dr. Ward, that's the style. I said, well, I'm going to tell you what my grandmother used to tell us. That thing you all call style is going to kill you. So I said to my black, beautiful sisters and Madam President, the Triangle Chapter of Links work with our young ladies on campus, with our international students from the Bahamas and from around the world. And they taught them about professionalism as a black woman. They taught them how to study and prepare for their careers. They taught them what true womanhood was. That's what we need more now in 2020. I hate to see young black girls walking around with blonde hair hanging down their back, blue contact lenses with blue eyes. I said, your heritage has nothing to do with blonde hair and blue eyes. You are a beautiful, mahogany sister. And so look like that. If you're going to emulate somebody, emulate Shirley Chisholm, emulate W.E.B. Du Bois, emulate Carter G. Woodson. That's who our heritage is. Emulate Mayor Wayne Messer. That's what we got to teach our young people. So today is political and culture, and I say that we got to become political agitators. We can't reserve a position of silence when 15 million children in this country live in families below the federal poverty level. 25% of African American children in Florida live in poverty. What are we going to do about that? As a church and as a people, we've got to address the issues that are impacting our children. We must in 2020 stand against and publicly speak with a collective voice to reverse the racially charged tone that is currently in American society. I want to repeat that. We got to speak with a collective voice, publicly. It's not enough for us to get together at frat meetings and other places and just talk about what the problem is. We got to call it out publicly and say that we're not going to stand for it. According to the Pew Research Center, 6 in 10 Americans, some 58%, say race relations in the United States is bad. In recent years, it has become more common for people to articulate racist and racial insensitive views. And according to the Pew Research Center, that has increased ever since Donald John Trump has become president of the United States of America. Now, as a scholar and a researcher, I appreciate the Pew Research Center documenting that through their various surveys. But I'm from North Carolina. I didn't need the Pew Research Center to tell me that. I'm the state of Jesse Helms and Sam Irvin, so we've been accustomed to understanding racial propaganda for what it is. But the question is, what are we going to do about it? We've got to stand against it, and we've got to fight it with everything that is in us. As General President of Alpha Phi Alpha at our convention, I declared war on racism and bigotry, because we as a fraternity are not going to sit in silence. And if you remember, Dr. King said in his letter from the Birmingham jail, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You remember there were 8 clergymen who asked him, why are you here? And he said, I'm in Birmingham I'm in Montgomery because injustice is here. So that's what we got to work on. We must become uncompromising in our position to aggressively confront a criminal justice system that disproportionately has an overrepresentation of African American males who are being convicted, arrested, and sentenced for crimes more than any other race in America. We need to make certain that we do everything we can to end the prison to pipeline that's happening in this country. I was reading that in Florida, 49% of the population in the state of Florida, prison population, consists of black males. We've got to reverse that trend. The state of Florida spends $18,500 a year to house a prisoner. Can we only imagine if we could get $18,500 for a young black male to go to Florida A&M a year, what the difference that would make? Send him to Florida Memorial, send him to the University of Miami. There's a difference that will happen in American society if we reverse the trend. Because what's not being talked about is that people are making money off of us every single day in these prison enterprises, and we are in a new form of slavery. That when they can say that based on your reading score in the 4th grade, I will determine that you will be in a prison. And that most of the prisoners that are in the prison system have a grade point that is below the 5th grade. And many don't even have a high school education. We've got to go back to the days that education, not the latest rap artist, is the most important thing that we say to our children. Florida has the highest number of prisons, is the 3rd highest in the nation with the prison population. We've got to change that. And nationally, in the prison system, black males between the age of 30 and 34 have the highest incarceration rate of any other race in the national prison system. 30 years old to 34 years old. We've got to make sure that we turn our attention to these young men and young women. I've said to our members, and I want these young men to stand up, the Golden Knights of Beta Lambda, stand up and look at these young men. Give them a round of applause. That's what we got to do. Give them another round of applause. Now, keep standing, young men. When LSU played Clemson, you all would have taken the roof off of this place. But we got to go back to a day where we will stand up and applaud young men and affirm them and tell them the words of, we are proud of you. We love you. We're proud of you. And we love you. We're proud of you. And we love you. We're proud of you. And we love you. That's what we got. So I say to all of us, take the time to talk to these young people. When you see them in your church, when you see them in your neighborhoods, when you see them in the store, when you walk every single day, don't become the voice that talks about how bad they are. Be the voice that talks about how good they are and tell them how good they are. Shake their hands, look them in the eyes and say, and ask the question, how are you today? How is your day going? Be good to them so they understand that no matter where their life takes them, that they got a community of people that's on there standing with them every step of the way. And finally, we got to fight against violence and brutality. This emergence, and it's really not an emergence, but to see how people are bringing violence back into society like we've never seen before. You see people going into churches. It doesn't matter if it's a Christian church, a Jewish synagogue, or a Muslim temple. It concerns all of us. We can't sit. I, as a lifelong member of Davie Street Presbyterian Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, cannot sit on the same pew that my great-grandfather sat on and not be concerned when someone is violently destroying the Jewish community in the name of Make America Great Again. It involves us all. Have we not forgotten what happened in Birmingham, Alabama? You know, sometimes people exercise what I call selective amnesia. You remember? It was September 15, 1963, that the 16th Street Baptist Church was bombed. And 4 black girls were killed on a Sunday morning. And now, all of a sudden, people are acting like violence by white supremacists, terrorists, is something new in America. It's not new. They have been bombing and burning our churches for generations and generations, and lynching our people for nothing at all, but just walking down the street and maybe not moving off the sidewalk quick enough for a white person to walk by. Isn't it amazing how America has selective amnesia? But oh, I thank God for a good mind. We got to tell the story and pass it on from generation to generation to generation, so they understand that the fight is never over. How many of us remember June 17, 2015, when Mother Emanuel AME Church having Bible study, and this young deranged man walked in and just started shooting in the name of white supremacy? So I say to all of us, our mission is clear in 2020. What are we going to do, people? We're going to do what? We're going to vote, vote, and vote. We're going to be counted in the 2020 census. We're going to free our children from psychological imprisonment. We're going to fight against the prison to pipeline, where people are trying to destroy public education, getting us all confused about charter schools and other kinds of things. You know what I say about charter schools? Charter schools are for poor white people that couldn't send their children to private school, and they came up with something called charter schools. There's nothing wrong with public education. How many of us? Of us, if we are honest with ourselves, before we got these degrees, at a public school that said, we believe in you. You can be whatever you want to be. We would never have thought about being anything but what that teacher said we could be, because she loved us, he loved us, and it was black teachers that built this country and built and made all of us who we are. To the day that historically black colleges continue to produce strong, committed, well-prepared black teachers. I remember so well my 9th grade English teacher, Mrs. Omega Sanders. I was in there and I thought I was pretty good. I was the class clown. She was trying to teach us literature. I wanted to act like Richard Brown. I was glad. Mrs. Omega Sanders did something that we've got to do more of now. I was at home and playing at home, and all of a sudden the doorbell rang. And I heard my mother say, "Come in, Mrs. Sanders. It's so good to see you." My mother was this grand lady, very delicate, and just a typical woman of great refinement. She offered Mrs. Sanders a seat. She said, "Can I offer you coffee?" She sat there in the living room. You all know about living room. We had a living room with a coffee table. Every and jet was on the table. It was a wonderful, wonderful home. And as it was the tradition, my mother said, "Everett, you may be excused. I'm going to have a talk with Mrs. Sanders." Well, I started shaking. And all I could hear from my room was, "Mrs. Sanders, you will not have that problem." I heard my mother say, "Thank you for coming by. It's always good to see you. Give my best to Mr. Sanders." And the door closed. Well, the rest is history. The door closed, and that fine, gracious, refined lady turned into the exorcist. She went to her room and just started crying. She's the oldest, I'm the youngest. She said, "Mama, don't kill it." From that point until today, I made A's and B's, but it was because of that relationship that a caring black teacher came to our home and said, "He has potential. He can perform, but he's trying to be the class clown. And we're going to work together and make sure that can you imagine in the 9th grade, if I had not had that black teacher to care about me, where I would have continued to be the class clown, and instead of being the 11th president of St. Augustine's, the general president of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, I could have been in the Wake County jail and be one of these young men that we're talking about. But for God's grace, there too I go." So that's why we've got to do everything we can. So in closing, my brothers and sisters, let us not forget that Dr. King was a man with great choices. He and his lovely wife, Coretta, well-educated, met in Boston, PhD at age 26. He had a choice. He could have accepted a pastoral appointment in the North. Coretta, an accomplished musician with advanced degrees, could have been singing opera anywhere. But they made the choice to return to the South, to the land of their birth, and make a difference. So the question before us, and I told our great Reverend, I love the quote that's on the program, where it says, do the right thing. I'm paraphrasing. But it says, do the right thing. But I want to leave you with Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So the mission for us today is to do the good work and let your light so shine that they may see your good works and glorify the Father. I don't know about you, but as an English major, I know it's not grammatically correct, and I know that this congregation consists of about 71% of its members are college educated. But I'm going to use some good old North Carolina language. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't going to let nobody turn me around. I don't care who's in that Oval Office. I don't care what happened. Just think about what we've experienced just this week. 3 of our historical sororities celebrated their founding. Alpha Phi Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, and Zeta Phi Beta. Zeta Phi Beta celebrated 100 years in Washington now. Martin Luther King's birthday, January the 15th. But what happened on January 16th? The House carried impeachment documents to the United States Senate. We are in trying times, and the democracy of this nation is at stake. Don't we remember that there was once talk about fraud and voter suppression among black folk, and some states adopted you had to have an ID, but nobody wants to talk about a foreign government having influence over the election. So what's the answer? I know how to fix it. I don't worry about what somebody says. I worry about what I'm going to do. We're going to take the Harriet Tubman treatment. And as we used to say in our neighborhood, just meet me at the polls. Vote on election day. Be counted. And when the record book is written, and the history books are written for January 19, 2020, let it be said that we as a people, determined and celebrating the legacy of Dr. King, that to honor him, that 2020 will be a year that we will take no backward steps, because we're not going back. I tell everybody, you all talk about the glory days of old America. I'm not going back. My grandmother and grandfather and father and grandfather didn't fight in World War I and World War II and the Korean War for us to go back to the days of old. I'm looking forward to the new days when one of these young brothers and sisters will be president of the United States of America. When one of these young men will be the next mayor of Miami. When one of these young men and women will be the governor and the lieutenant governor and will lead this. I'm not going back. I'm moving onward and upward always. God bless you and thank you.